Hi everyone, I'm Koda, the Executive Director of Koyori. We are so thrilled to launch this new brand at the Triennale di Milano during Milan Design Week this June. However, I'd like to give you a sneak peek introduction of this amazing brand today. Koyori is a new Japanese design brand built together with some of the Japanese leading furniture manufacturers. There are lots of furniture manufacturers in Japan. We also have original and excellent woodworking techniques and outstanding craftsmanship, which we've been succeeding for generations together. However, we've had no chance to get our presence recognized in the international market. Hence, we decided to bring these manufacturers together, each having a unique and remarkable characteristic to deliver the best of Japanese craftsmanship to the world. We have invited two gifted designers for our first collection with the aim of combining our excellent craftsmanship with international lifestyle. One is Roman and Elron Bruick, and another is Gamu Fratege. In this movie, we interviewed each designer, asking them how they felt to be involved in Koyori, and they unfolded their development experience. We hope you enjoy the interviews, and we also eagerly looking forward that you have a chance to view and touch our fantastic products in person.
Koyori is a new brand, a Japanese brand. So it's in the same time something very mysterious. It's new. Very clear for me that we had something new and interesting to do with them. They are specific in their way of thinking, specific in their way of making, specific in their extreme ability to be at a very high technical level. The inspiration of Kawara is the techniques. The idea here was to do a chair that has very high elegance, nice volume, a chair when you are happy to sit in for a long dinner, sometimes a boring dinner. Particularly interesting in this chair is this connection. All the language of the chair is coming from that. So there is 4 sticks, 4 cylinders in wood, and 4 pieces in plywood, and they are all meeting together inside this cylinder. So this very charming way how things are linked together is the beauty of this chair. It's another aspect that is very important for me, and I think it's the fact that the geometry is quite pure. It's very formal in a certain way, but it's not boring. Why it's not boring? Probably because of the quality of this detail here and the fact that there is movement, the curve in the back, the curve in the armrest, and it's a very nice chair to touch. This chair exists in 2 versions. There is the possibility of having a cushion inside that give a better comfort. So Musubi is something totally different. Here I wanted to search around this question of very precise, almost cultural chairs, chairs that you are happy to touch. The feeling that you can have in some Danish chair from the 60s or 70s when you are so happy to sit in it and to feel the wood, the plain wood, and to have it in your hand, and to this sensuality of perfectly done pieces, the way it's connected. We can understand the quality of ergonomy. So there is this gentle curve in the seat, a very long curve here, which is very pronounced at the end. Then this very sensual arm, which is nice to touch. And the fact that the back has a very big curve, so it's good for the back. And this curve in this way makes that when you slide in the chair, your back is always in a good position. So the Shaku chair is the inspiration is maybe these very rustical chairs that you can find in the mountain when there is two pieces of wood that are very directly connected together, or some maybe African object, or some simple Japanese piece that are very almost primitive. So the beginning is a primitive chair, so it means a piece for the seat, a piece for the back, and a very direct connection, and then 4 feet. But the way it's done, the extreme precision of it, the quality of the way it's done allow us to have a very, very sophisticated chair, but in a very, very simple way of mixing, connecting pieces together. The Shaku will exist in black. It's a very compact chair, so it works in a very, very small space. The comfort is very good. The back is high, so you are in a good position to work, to have a dinner, to be in a cafe, a restaurant, where the question of being compact is very important. I think as a designer I'm not bad for ergonomy. It has always been a very important subject. As a designer you always learn, and I've learned a lot in this process of developing the projects. Their understanding of ergonomy is extremely high too. It's interesting here because you see 3 chairs designed by the same author, by the same team, but all of them, it's a group of chairs, but all of them are very specific. Well, working for Koyori it's a pleasure, and my specific pleasure to work in Japan. Koyori is a new brand, but again it's based on a very historical interesting work between craft and industry, and I felt very honored to be invited to participate and to be the starting point of a new. I hope this relation with Koyori will be a long time relation. It starts like in a very passionate way, so I hope it will be a long love affair.
I think it's very fascinating, the project that they're doing, that they wish to combine the very traditional craftsmanship from Japan with some very old factories, with some international designers. So this is actually, I think, the whole inspiration also for our work, that we really go into the manufacturing and the craftsmanship, and that's the inspiration also for our 2 chairs.
The Meow chair is, of course, the chair which we have been designing and working with the solid wood. And that's also a very particular work with solid wood, because the material has the capacity of really being modeled. You know,
it's becoming very organic, and it has a very special touch and feel. So I also feel that we kind of had this as a starting point, that when you have an armrest, it's something you really want to touch, and it's something that you will always touch. And the patina that you get in the solid wood is just only getting more and more beautiful with the years. I think we really aim to get the simplicity, and that you don't think about the complexity when you see the chair, but when you know how it's made and you know the complexity of doing such a detail in solid wood is something that you can really appreciate. Yeah, I think you can say that the name Meow is, there's something playful to the name, because it's referring to a cat, which is something alive, and what I think was our inspiration was this thing about the organic material. It's very nice and soft to touch when it's elaborated in this way. And this caressing the cat became kind of the inspiration for the small detail you have in the front of the arm, because that's just where you would put your hands and you would have this connection with the product, the kind of a relationship with the product, I would say. I think the Meow chair is definitely a chair that you can use in many different situations. You can either use it around the dining table. You can also have it as a single, more sculptural element where you just want one chair in a corner, in a desk. So I think it's kind of something that you can really play with in the interior.
I mean, it's very clear about the name with the two elements. We have the Eda, which is the branch, and then we had the leaves with the Ha and the Eda. Yeah, the veneer is almost like a piece of paper, which is also quite interesting because the company Koyori is also twisting paper. So this concept about paper was pretty interesting. And the veneer, it was almost when you play and making a shell out of that, suddenly it's very easy that the design is kind of becoming very close to a leaf. So that was something for us important to focus on. And then of course you need the structure. And again, the structure, as Tina mentioned, is the braces was very much something which can hold a leaf. So these two elements immediately started to be the components we want to use for the project. The material is the center of the project. I mean, there are two clear elements, which is the structure and then there is the shell. But also the shell is so light, somehow is holding only in two elements. And then there is this crossing, which is very, very characteristic somehow in the chair, but it's also very beautiful because it's almost the same element which is, using twice.
Actually, we really liked the name Koyori. Also, it became an important inspiration, I think, for the work, because Koyori means kind of the gesture of twisting paper. And we actually always really like to work with the gesture. And I think also the Eda chair, for example, it's very much a gesture about folding a piece of veneer, just if it was twisting a paper. What I'm really happy about when I see the two chairs is that somehow you feel really that because they're very different, so they really reflect two different collaborations, even though they are both Koyori, they're two different manufacturers. And that's kind of what we really aim, is that to go under the kind of the skin of each manufacturer and just taking the exact skills and express that.
I think it was really nice to have this invitation from Japan and be able to experiment with wood in this way. When you bring a Koyori product in your home, I think you will bring a piece of the time which a person is spending to make it, with attention, with respect, with care of details. So I think these are the principles that will make the product and then Koyori a company which will last.
If you can call that luxury, but I would say that's the ultimate luxury, that you bring a piece of time, because that is maybe the most valuable we have.